Hey everyone, welcome to another video. I hope you are good. If you're new to this channel, make sure you have subscribed, hit the bell button and leave a like. I'm going to talk through the perfect scenario. I put a tweet out this morning actually, saying that if this happens, it's good, right? A lot of people didn't quite get it as normal. I expected it. If there's new viewers, I'm going to explain a strategy that works very well. It's very, very simple. If you want to learn more about it, check out the links below. Learning Crypto. A lot of good courses there you can get your head into. I'm an investor mainly. I'm a positional holder. I will buy top solid, in my opinion, fundamentally based coins with good risk reward. I don't go too risky, but I go for something that has a good element of growth, whether that is a Metcalfe's law theory within it, whether that is an ecosystem, or if it's just got good tokenomics, right? What I then do is I tend to buy them with BTC. I've always bought in Bitcoin. You know, I don't know whether it's because I joined crypto in like 2016 and there wasn't much Tether around on those days. I just figured that it works better. Now, I've always said this. BTC is one price, the USD price is another, and also pairing with Ethereum and stuff like that is also another price. So if you don't understand this, if you go onto the likes of Ethereum USD or something, you're going to start seeing that when you start looking at it in terms of the price and stuff like down here, it's only the USD prices, right? When you start going on to the fact of the BTC prices of an asset, it's the same thing. So I've explained this before. If you put in basically however many sats it is in BTC, and then you find out what the price of Bitcoin is per sat, you will get the USD price of whatever asset, right? So when we talk about this perfect scenario, I've said this before a few times. I don't think we've retraced up enough. This is where I'm getting at. So even though my content is relatively bearish because we are in a downtrend, I'm just a realist here, I think we could go lower as well. We've got to make the peace with the fact that we are in a bit of a chop range, and we also need to retrace upwards to kind of collect some, maybe some sell orders, who knows, right? Every market goes up, every market goes down, and we also get a consolidation range. We are, as you can see in this chart, it's very, very clear. We've been heading down, we've had a relief rally, right? So everyone's getting really excited again. I think the perfect scenario at the moment, what I would love to happen is we rocket, right? And that rocket would send us to 42k and maybe even higher to retest where we drop from, basically. So this huge cataclysmic drop-in point, we need to kind of find a level in between here, in my opinion. Now, when you start looking at the confluence between the top of the move down to that 28,500 level, we've got to look at 42k with interest, in my opinion. It's a huge level in and around where we've stopped and turned around before, as you can see here and as you can see here. I think that is level number one that we need to try as a major level. There's obviously other little ones in between that. If we're going to go for the absolute balls deep approach and go for 51k, that would be even better. Why is this so important? Because this is going to shift the dynamic of one chart and many with it. The one chart would be the index of the dominance chart, which is important. We're currently at 46,000, 46%, sorry, not 46,000, 46%. I personally believe we're going to go up to these red lines. These red lines are where I believe we are going to probably start looking at why their fib levels, why they've got some importance from the past, and also averages. Bitcoin is usually averaged quite high. It's usually the king. People don't like me saying that, but ultimately it is. It's the market. You know, it's a market element, really. It's how it mostly goes around. We've currently got high dominance in Ethereum. We've got low dominance in BTC. But I do think that a lot of the crap coins will eventually disappear, and ultimately people will take profit into Bitcoin like normal. There's a big, massive element to this. If Bitcoin is pumping, this will go up. If that happens, it might get interesting, because this is where I've been saying I think there's 30, 40, 50% drops in the BTC pairs. Not USD, I've been doing the equivalent in USD, but the element is, if BTC is bullish, those USD prices will go up, right? Therefore, you're not looking at one chart. And the chart that you should be looking at is the likes of .btc, for example, where we will gradually fall down. When we start looking at RSR, we will gradually fall down. This is where you get people who are rich in USD but poor in Bitcoin. This is where over the first 2 years of me doing cryptocurrency, I lost a lot of BTC because I was timing my entries and executions incredibly wrong. I was basically buying on the pump and I was going up in USD and making money that way, but I was also losing Satoshis, which in my opinion, if you're looking and toggling on Blockfolio, and the likes of Delta and stuff like that for your portfolio, the higher the BTC you've got, the more wealthy you technically are in cryptocurrency, which is kind of what you need, because then the ball is in your court when BTC goes higher, because ultimately you're going to be making more money realistically, because overall it's a great metric of wealth, and that wealth is, if you've got 10 BTC, well, chances are you're going to do all right. But what would you rather have, 10 BTC or say 100,000 US dollars? What would you rather have? Well, personally, I'd rather have more BTC because it's a speculative asset. It potentially goes up much more than USD. However, the point I'm trying to make is here, if this dominance chart goes up and you are in a long-term altcoin position and the total 2 chart, for example, or the total chart is going down because people are selling their altcoins, they're basically getting liquidated or whatever, exiting their positions, it's going to grow the strength of Bitcoin. Therefore, all those Satoshi values in all these assets that look really good are going to keep tumbling down. Look at Zilliqa, for example, right? We were at 450 Satoshis. We're now at like 188. BTC dominance hasn't really moved yet. And when it does, you're going to start noticing that this will start getting squeezed towards 120. Then maybe it goes back down to 60. Guess what I'm going to do? With my BTC, and hopefully it's worth more, I will be able to buy more Zilliqa and just sit and chill and relax. And guess what? When it starts going up again, I will then sell and unload into the ZIL/BTC pair. I don't have to touch USD. I very rarely look at USD prices for most assets. I just look at the Satoshi values half the time. I only do USD for the videos because people get confused. I did a week of doing just BTC and it confused the living shit out of people. But that is scenario A. Scenario A for me is we go up and retest these levels, show a bit of oomph, get a bit of sentiment back, and allowing that dominance chart to continue its basically that correction as well. That's a huge correction. I went from 74% down to 39, I think, in a very, very short period of time. If people didn't think that was alt season, well, I suggest you start learning, because that was the most obvious alt season you're ever going to find. Everyone got pretty wealthy if you were doing it right. Now, scenario number 2 is the opposite. Even if, right, and this happens, history tells us, the market melts, you're going to get further losses in altcoins. Those weak hands will be shook out the market and they will shit themselves. Which is why these levels on my chart here is quite good, because you've got one roughly where I've put a level here, and we've got, well, we haven't really, but it's in between, let's just say. We've got one here. Scenario would say, if we are going to go down and test 20k, the amount of altcoins that will be shifting out of the market will increase the dominance of Bitcoin. Therefore, the Satoshi ranges of your altcoins will drop like a stone, along with USD. The caveat to it going up and the strength is USD will go up. You will feel that you're doing well, whereas your Satoshis are not. So you toggle your portfolio, like, all right, I'm green in USD and I'm fucking red massively in BTC. That's a problem. However, the other side of the coin is, bearish scenario is, oh my god, I'm red in USD. Oh my god, I'm really red in BTC. God, I'm plummeting. So, this is where you buy the fear. You buy, in my opinion, those BTC pairs with BTC. You're probably going to ask me a lot of questions about it. Why does it work? It always has. If you look at history, you can play cycles without USD on just the BTC dominance chart. Even this chart, right, this is the daily time frame. This was like when I was like aping into altcoins because they were so cheap. Great. Boom, right? Again, you got another one here. This was the DeFi summer. So this one here, DeFi summer when everything went crazy. But you got all these levels where it's going up. So what I always say is if you're looking to buy altcoins in long-term positions, try and get it as high up dominance as you can and then sit on them, because you're going to get more bang for your buck, especially if you're holding Bitcoin. If you've got like 0.5 BTC from the past and you're not utilizing something out of that pot, for example, into some altcoins to then grow even more, well, guess what's going to happen, right? The only way you can grow Bitcoin is essentially from doing this. If you say, for example, you bought RSR, at like, let's just say 41 sats for examples, and we go back up and retrace these levels up here, it's basically a 4.5x gain on your BTC. So let's just do for simple maths here. You put 1 BTC in there, and imagine your BTC is only worth X amount, or you've bought it at dollar cost average at a low amount. You're going to come out with basically an extra 4 in your hand. That's the difference. That's the game that you're playing. That's a wealth game you're playing. That accumulation portfolio of wealth management is only focus on the one element of it. Too many people get bogged down by USD. The only thing that you need USD for is profit. If you're looking at the Satoshi values and you're like, right, I've bought RSR, for example, here, or whatever it may be, and I've made a 3-4x on my Satoshis on it. Wow, that's awesome. Well, let's just say now then you've got 5 BTC. The only thing that you need to worry about as a store of value is what the USD price is. What about if then BTC goes up to like 200k, 100k, whatever? You just take a little bit off, and that's where you call partial profit. If you're a, I want to hold Bitcoin for the rest of my life sort of person, fair enough, right? But if you're not taking even 5%, 10% off that to then enjoy your life, to sort out your debts and clear out all kinds of situations, you should. That's what I do. Ultimately, yes, I hold a good chunk of Bitcoin. Yeah, that's fine. I utilize Bitcoin to grow my Bitcoin. Yeah. But I'm not stupid enough to go, well, I'm never going to sell it, because I always will. I will always sell 10%, 20% here and there to enjoy life, to diversify, to put it in stocks, to put it into property, to put it into other things that I want to put into. You can't be all in on crypto. You will lose eventually, because one thing will go wrong. If you go all in on a coin, it will rug pull on you. It always will. So you got to be careful, right? So focus on core assets with good, solid fundamentals. Buy them when the BTC pair is at its lowest, when the dominance is going up, and it is minging. It's horrible. It's disgusting. Even when people are really happy about the USD price, you just wait, chill out, relax, because if that Satoshi value is dropping, it doesn't matter, because if those USD prices are going up, 9 times out of 10, it's because Bitcoin's going up. So you got to remember that, and then you can get on the train, and you're getting on the train that no one's looking at, because when the alt season triggers, guess what an alt season is? It's not the USD price. That's Bitcoin season. It's when these Satoshi pairs go, when altcoins are battering Bitcoin and these are going up. That is what is known as an alt season. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know. Again, there's more content on learning crypto about this in terms of graphs and actual physically doing it and recorded videos, so you can see it in real time. It is a proven, awesome method, and I love it. So scenario A is simple, Bitcoin moons. Scenario B is also simple, Bitcoin dumps. Either way, sideways market, it doesn't work, but it will do eventually when it moves.